Day 3 of the JKA World Karate Championships in Dubai, and this is what all the competitors are aiming for, the glittering achievement of a gold medal. And welcome to the stunning setting of Dubai for the final round of the Japan Karate Association's World Championship. Many of these competitors, 42 nations, have traveled halfway around the world to realize their lifetime goal, a World Championship. Of course, some of them will achieve those aspirations today, but there will also be a lot of disappointment. Here in Dubai, we'll see the combination of despair and jubilation with the crowning of the new Japan Karate Association's World Champion. The women's kata, the grace and beauty of a disciplined and structured sequence. And this is the list of qualifiers. Down to the final 8 in women's kata. First competitor entering the mat now, Maiko Asano of Japan. Remember, we've got 7 judges. The judges are going to score the competitors a maximum of 8 points, Victor. Maximum of 8 points. They'll be throwing out the high and the low. Look at the intensity on the face of Asano.
Yeah, she was very balanced here. I think the other competitors will have to beat the 3 Japanese girls, and I think they are renowned for the kata. That's very quick. Good moving there. She switches around very quickly on the floor there.
Very quick kicks.
That was good. Japanese always been known to take the kata because they've trained really hard for this. They always want to take it back home.
Each one of these hand moves, each one of these stances has a significance, Vic, and the officials take away for what kind of thing?
It's like there's points for the movement, for the wrong type movement, if you do the movement too quickly.
Very popular move here. The judges. In the eliminations, the judges only scored as high as 8. That was the highest. In the finals, it looks like they're going higher. The first score is 8.7, 8.6, 8.6, 8.6, 8.8, 8.6, and 8.6. Now remember, they're going to throw out the high score and the low score, and they're going to give us a total. There it is, 43.1, and the crowd shows its approval to Maiko Asano. She looks a lot like Maiko Asano. Yuka Asano. Now, as she goes through the moves here, Vic, describe for us the relevance of what she's doing to self-defense. What might she be doing against various attackers as they're coming at her?
Yeah, what kata is based on is that the imaginary opponent, you've got 4 attackers coming at you, and you have to defend yourself against those attackers.
These are special stances. What do they call this stance?
That's the stance. What she's doing there, the front leg is pushing, sweeping the other hand, the leg aside, and she's striking with her fingers to the stomach. And again, she's moving aside again and striking.
So people are coming at her from different directions, and she's just blasting them as they get close to her.
That's right. And when you see them perform it slowly, that means basically she stopped. She's grabbed the hand slowly and then moving it the other direction.
Not like you'd necessarily do it in real life, but as a strengthening exercise.
Yes, and also it's a practical side, it's a theoretical side of karate here, which we're looking here now. And this is emphasis between different things here. And this is really a balance position for something to learn.
It's the same form that Michael Asano did.
Similar.
Judges scores 8.6, 8.5, 8.5, 8.7, 8.7, 8.6, and 8.7. .43.1 for Yuka Asano. She's in a dead tie with Maiko Asano. After adding back their earlier elimination scores, Maiko takes a narrow win over Yuka. We asked her how she felt about her close loss to her sister.
はい、とても悔しいですけれど、いつも負けているので、今回は同点で内容で負けたってことで、自分では満足してます。
Well, I'm not very happy about it very much, but sometimes I get this kind of problem. But I think I'm just very happy she won.
She, meaning Maiko Asano. Maiko, your form tonight was exquisite. Of course, your two teammates also placed second and third behind you. What were you thinking and feeling during the intensity of your form tonight?
とやっぱり今までいつも姉には勝ってきたので、とやっぱり今回は少し差を縮められた部分があったので、それはやっぱりもっと努力しなきゃいけないなっていう反省させられる面がありました。
Well, she tried her best, and you know, she has a kind of feeling in her heart to win against her sister tonight in this big championship.
Gold medal, Tomiyako Asano from Japan.
It's final time here at the Al Nasser Sports Complex as the men's team competition reaches the dramatic final stages.
It should be a very, very good final.
For Japan, Futoshi Hatanaka.
Again, as you can see here, they're both searching for that point. Looks like the Japanese spider's got it. He's rushed in.
Futoshi Hatanaka. Chief official Mr. Abe gives a point to Hatanaka. So Japan goes up in the first match.
The Syrian fighter has got to push forward now. He's got to try and make a position for himself here to bring his team back in.
Firas Deeb fighting for Syria is down half a point to Hatanaka. And Mr. Abe indicating that he thinks Hatanaka's gotten another half point. He gives Hatanaka the half point and the match. Our second bout features Takashi Yamaguchi for Japan, and Vic, he got his nose cracked in his last round.
Yeah, earlier of him, it followed up with an amazing combination kicks to the face with a strong punch to the face there.
Though he looked rough, Yamaguchi is certainly ready for the second round. Second fighter, Takashi Yamaguchi from Japan. Still with a cracked nose, his opponent, Amar Maghrabi from Syria.
Maghrabi can kick too. He's got lightning fast front leg. He's blistering that front leg out.
Mr. Abe, the center referee, had indicated a point for Maghrabi himself. He gave a warning for some reason to Yamaguchi. What was that warning?
I think the warning is for going out that area, just not staying in and fighting it, or not stopping when it says Yame.
Yeah, he did continue a little bit beyond the instructions to stop.
That's right. And here the Syrian fighter just holding fast. He can't afford to do that because he's got to push.
Japan teamed up by 1 point.
Good position there. Also, the Japanese fighter just holding his ground here, which is good.
Maghrabi in with a back leg kick. Mr. Abe pointing to the Japanese fighter. One of the judges had a red flag out. Terry O'Neill, the English judge from this near corner, up talking to Mr. Abe.
I thought that first kick was in.
Mr. Abe indicating he thought the kick was blocked. He gives a half point then to Yamaguchi for the punch. So the Japanese fighter Takashi Yamaguchi up by 1/2 a point. Yamaguchi punched first that time. They're giving the point now to Mugrabi.
Yes, he punched first, but it was very, very short then.
So Mugrabi has tied 1/2 point to 1/2 point. Japan, remember, in this team match is leading by 1. This is the final match for the Japan Karate Association World Team title. And Mugrabi really fires that back leg with some power, Vic.
Yeah, it's good, but the thing is, the Japanese fighter is closing the distance now. He's closing the distance. He's edging him on to do that kick again, but he's going to trying to slip in. Punch is very quick, but it's too short. See that? The competitors just stopping without hearing the command. The concentration, look at the boat, look at the Japanese looking directly at his competitor.
High intensity, high intensity.
Again, indicating the kick was too short, gives the Japanese a point.
So Mr. Abe gives the second match to Takashi Yamaguchi, and Japan goes ahead of Syria by 2 points. Now this team, the Syrian team, does not seem to be at all intimidated. Masao Kagawa, the Japanese team captain, facing Rajet Al-Kharad from Syria.
Syrian fighter has got to do all the work now.
This Kagawa is just so relaxed.
Kagawa is just going to stay there as long as he wants, because at the end of the day, the other fighter's got to come towards him. He needs the point. He's got to do the chasing.
Kagawa must be giving up 100 pounds here, maybe 60 pounds, and he acts like he's the bigger man.
Yes, you can see that, and also he's going in the corner. He's pushing him away, and the Syrian fighter hasn't even tested him yet. He hasn't tested him, and he should be trying to test him there. I mean, if I was a coach, I'd be saying, hey, come on, let's shake this guy up a bit.
This is attitude. Attitude, pure and simple. The Syrian fighter is psyched out.
And the referee stopped that match because there's not enough action there.
He's giving him a chance to do it right this time.
Again, Kagawa just holding his ground here, saying, hey, you want to do the work? Come on.
Well, Kagawa's team is ahead 2-0. He's the reigning world champion. The guy outweighs him by 30, 40, 50 pounds. So I guess Kagawa doesn't really have a lot of motivation to go charging after him, does he?
Yeah, no, not at all. What's going to happen is he's going to throw a technique. The Syrian is going to throw a technique. He's going to be tempted to throw a technique, hoping he's going to catch him.
So this Kagawa knows how to play the game, does he not, Big Charles?
Yes, he does. And also the clock's still ticking. He's going.
The Syrian players over there are wanting to scream for their guy to do something, but I don't think the etiquette permits that.
Well, Joe, this is from Syrian's point of view. He should be getting in there. Now that could be a warning in the rule book. If these two fighters not fighting, they could both get a bobby, which is a form of a penalty each.
Kagawa with some quick feint, good footwork, gets himself out of the way. Was there a punch or kick thrown in that entire 2 minutes?
Well, none at all. Bear in mind, the Syrian team is 2 points down.
So this is called a draw. Fourth round, Kosho Kanayama. And for Syria, Amir Al-Halabi.
What's interesting now about Syrian fighter didn't put the pressure on. He's put more pressure on this particular Syrian fight, but this one's quite good. I was watching him in the earlier rounds by Spain. He was very quick on the punches, but he's still got to go forward and try and get points. That's good.
Japanese strategy is here, let them come to us.
Well, the ball's in their court, isn't it? He's got to go.
And we spoke in some of our preliminary matches how a fighter could really be in trouble by trying to protect his lead as Al-Halabi, gets that first half point. What happens if the Japanese fighter just tries to protect his lead?
That's a very, very good punch. Very good punch. Very good punch. He's giving it. That's it. Now the pressure's back on now.
So now we've seen a fighter try to protect his lead. What happened to him?
You just can't do it, Pete. The pressure's put back on you.
Nobuyuki Aramoto will also be fighting Mikhail
Very
Kagawa.
good. Very good. That's a hook and a strike to the stomach. And he's got that point.
Half point for Syria. Now that punch by Aramoto exploded in there, Vic.
Yeah, a very good point. Right over the top. Right over his guard.
Why wouldn't that be an Ippon?
Well, I personally give a hip-on to all of it. And again he does it. Yameh, he's going to get a warning for this. He should have stopped.
The Syrian fighter, I think, there showed quite clearly that he was not intimidated and grabbed that match away from Aramoto. Now I'm going to give you one more chance in your selection against Kagawa. Okay, now we have then a tie match. 2 wins for Syria, 2 wins for Japan, and 1 draw.
This is interesting. 2 different fighters here now. He's going to try and pull Kagawa.
Now that seems to be a good selection on the part of the Syrian team because he is so much taller.
Yeah, and also he's got better footwork. He's thinking about it. See, this is what he pulled him. The Syrian fighter knows he can go in and make the other fighter throw a technique.
Al-Halabi is, as Vic Charles said, a larger fighter using good footwork. Do you feel that he is being a little bit more conservative than he should be, Vic, with that kind of height and size?
No, not at all. He's trying to do what's necessary to put Kagawa out of his stride. And at the moment, he's not. The Japanese fighter doesn't know how to handle this.
So I see what you're saying. At that point, Kagawa actually reacted to the feints.
That's right. And what the Syrian fighter has to make sure it doesn't do it too often. So Kagawa gets tuned into it, and he's going to throw a punch after him.
You know, our American audience is wondering why Halabi doesn't just step back a little bit and drill a sliding side kick into the smaller opponent.
The situation is too tight here.
Kagawa's got too quick a release, you're saying, with that right punch.
Well, he's got a disadvantage here of his size. He's going to go with explosive now. He's looking for his front hand. Kagawa is looking for his front hand. Now, the Syrian fighter is trapped in that corner. He's got to get out of it. This is where the point is going to come, if he's going to come at all.
Now, this is strategy. This is no wasted motion by either man. Kagawa now has him overextending himself, Vic. Will that give Al-Halabi a problem?
Yeah, this is interesting because the weakness is on Kagawa's side, that he doesn't block his face at all.
All the flags went up for both fighters, indicating that they still feel it's a draw. So after 1 overtime match to break the world team draw, we still have a draw, Vic Charles.
The referee's got to decide that if this is a new fight, to go another 2 minutes, or what is asking the officials here on the table and the arbitrator. Should we go for the first he's going to ask the judges there, are we going to go for a sudden death situation whereby the first person who scores wins this competition? That's what he's going to ask them. Or should we go for 2 minutes, start cleaning, wipe the slate clean?
You see Terry O'Neill there to the left of your screen from England, the one non-Japanese center referee that we've seen in the competition in the last 3 days. Did a good job, I think, too, Vic Charles.
I think he's made some really brave decisions here. He gave the point, and that was it.
Okay, we now have a tie match. Kagawa and Al-Halabi one more time. Is this sudden victory, or is this another 2-minute round.
Sudden death. I think it's a sudden death.
That means the first man that scores a point, if that's the case, would be the winner.
First person who scores that point will win this match for his team.
So what do you think Kagawa's strategy is right now? What does he want Al-Halabi to do?
Come in. He wants him to feint, come in, and he wants to ride back and then go back on him. That's the technique he's going to be looking for. And if he can push him in that corner, he's got the Syrian in this corner. If he can just keep him there, he'll be straight to the punch.
Right punch. Abe is one of the judges. Yamaguchi has a red flag up. Yamaguchi's red flag is for Kagawa. Terry O'Neill down in the corner has his white flag out. The other Japanese judge had a white flag out. I'm sorry, the center referee had a white flag.
Give it, and they've won it. No, sorry.
They haven't won it. It must be another time limit, another time period here. They didn't notify us from the floor whether it was going to be sudden victory or whether it was going to be 2 minutes. I guess it's going to be 2 minutes. You've got Al-Halabi ahead by 1/2 point.
And this is where the pressure's really going to be turned on to the Syrian fighter. And that's it. He's going to get a warning for that, but
they should warn the judge for sitting so close to the ring. Al-Halabi can't afford, according to Vic Charles' previous advice, to try to just hang on to that lead.
Good reverse punch to the stomach. No! Kagawa's saying he hit his arm.
Kagawa's telling the judges where it went, eh? We have one judge with a white flag, the center referee pointing to the Syrian fighter, Al-Halabi. And we should say Mr. Abe in the center did not hesitate. He did not hesitate in pointing to Al-Halabi.
They should have been influenced by the fighter then. They were actually influenced. He's given no points there.
And Mr. Abe has been convinced that that punch was blocked, even though he himself indicated that Al-Halabi had it.
Kagawa cannot get in. He's finding it very difficult to make the ground up. This Syrian fighter keeping on his toes, pushing away, always bouncing all the time. Here it comes now. He's getting ready to launch. Kagawa's getting ready to launch now. Here it comes.
Kagawa finds himself in the same situation that he was playing a few minutes ago with the other man having the lead. Now he's got to figure out how he's going to close the distance.
Good observation, Joe.
Good old turnabout is fair play, huh, Vic?
That's right. It's brilliant, really, because what Kagawa's trying to do is make the fighter come towards him and then retaliate back on him again. No point, is it?
And I'm wondering which sundial they're using on this clock right now myself. I don't know how much time is left. Al-Halabi ahead by 1/2 point. Mr. Abe points to him again with no hesitation as a referee. The Syrian team has gone berserk. They think they've won, but we have yet to hear from the official, and they have won it. Syria has beat Japan to win the Japan Karate Association World Team Championship, and there's one happy Al-Halabi. Syria comes out of nowhere and scores a major victory over Japan, and the Arabs show that their fighting spirit is second to none. Japan comes in with, for them, a disappointing silver, and the proud Spanish team takes the bronze.
Gold medal to Syria.
يعني كنت عم بلعب معه وكنت يعني عم بلعب مع لاعب قدير وجيد. حاولت اخذ حذري جدا منه وحاولت انصر فريقي نصر يعني احسن اني اتغلب عليه لحتى يفوز فريقي.
Being competing with a very victorious champion, I was very cautious how to be a champion against him, and I wanted to try to save up my team's face.
If, like me, Dubai has never been on your holiday short list, then let me tell you that you've been missing out on a spectacular destination. Vic and I have had a wonderful time, and although we've been busy bringing you top-class karate action, it hasn't stopped us from seeing some wonderful sights. Now, on to men's kata. Controlled movements and mental discipline are the watchwords here, and looking at the list of competitors, we can expect Japan to be right up among the medal winners.
Very strong.
You see him really driving the power into his punches.
They're going to be looking for his power here and his position, technique. Very good kick there.
Those are Japanese traditional side kicks where the knee comes up, the foot's perpendicular to the floor when it fires out. The more Western style kicks now, you pick the whole leg up where it's parallel with the floor and then fire it out.
He's doing a very strong kata here. Bear in mind, he's got to fight in the team final. He must be enormously strong.
I can tell you from putting my hand on his shoulder last night during the interview that we did with JKA that he is definitely in shape. 8.8, 8.7, 8.8, 8.7, 8.7, 8.7, and 8.8 from Masao Kagawa. Vic, you've been around a long time. You look in a man's eyes like that. Does that tell you something?
Yeah, it tells you if you fight him, he's not going to go back. He means business. And he's here to stay.
43.7 from Masao Kagawa. Could be the score to beat. Nader Burj of Iran and Nobuyuki Aramoto of Japan had even scores for the silver medal and come out now to break the tie. So Nader Burj of Iran does the second form. Now, will he do the same form, Vic Charles, or a different form this time?
It's really up to him. He's picked a different form from what he did before. It looks to me like he's shaking. He's really nervous there. And also, it's interesting that he went first. First matches, you know, so come on, go second, please. very focused and very good concentration there. Good timing. Good jump.
To my money, Vic Charles, I put him ahead of Armato last time.
Yeah, that was a good tackle. Good response from the crowd. Concentration, balance.
8.6, 8.7, 8.7, 8.7, 8.6, and 8.7, and the crowd loves it. Aramoto now with his second form, and Aramoto is turning it on here. Aramoto really turning on the power to help break this tie. His techniques just don't look as clean and as focused to me as the Iranian competitors, Nader Berge.
Yeah, it looks like he's rushing it a bit here.
I mean, I see the intensity there, but I don't see the same focus that I saw with the Iranian competitor.
Yeah, it looks to me he's rushing it slightly, but bear in mind, he's also an individual shooter as well. He has to be the person that get out the way.
And he's got a big evening to complete here, facing Kagawa for the individual championship, as well as fighting alongside Kagawa on the team championship. 8.7, 8.7, 8.7, 8.5, 8.6, 8.4, and 8.6. Hypothetically, if they were to tie this time, would they add back in the highs and the lows somehow?
I think so. I think that's what they do, but it's very unlikely that's going to happen. I mean, that's a very unusual situation.
Well, with 7 judges, one of the reasons in the United States, 43.1. And I see Nader Berge, hands in the air, broke his tie to take second place.
Masao Kagawa, gold medal.
It's the women's turn now in individual kumite, and this is how the semifinals line. There's Kim Marriott of Australia there. Should be facing this woman, Savitla, Magalai Savitla from Peru. She is probably the toughest woman that we've seen in the competition thus far. Then we have Ms. Bustani from Morocco facing Ms. Said from Morocco, and that's fairly unusual. Big Charles to force these two women to face each other from the same country. Now you see facing us Kim Marriott with her back to us, Magalai Savitla.
Yes, that's right. It's very unfortunate that draw there, yes.
See a lot of feinting. Now we're getting down to the wire, Big Charles. I think it may be a little more conservative.
Side kick.
Now we saw her take people out with a side kick in the first and second rounds in the last 2 days. That same look on her face, half point for Savitla, is ahead of Marriott from Australia by 1/2 point.
Yeah, she just seems to be so strong at those side kicks. I think she's a strong competitor here. But the Australian fighter is just not giving up to the red belt. She just keeps still pushing her. She's got to close down that gap. She's too far away from her.
At the beginning of the first day, we showed a lot of different techniques that fighters might use. But for the most part, what we've seen here is reverse punches and front kicks. Savitla is the only person I've seen landing side kicks during the last 3 days.
Yeah, which makes it very interesting because she's using a lot of other techniques. In this situation where the fighter knows she's close again. I think the Australian fighter's got to get closer.
Miss Kim Marriott does not seem to be intimidated. She definitely wants to come back to get it. Now, what was the referee doing there?
The referee's giving a point for a reverse punch to the side.
It's tied up, 1/2 point for each. The person who reaches a 1 point first is the winner.
Yeah, good point.
Now, Marriott closed in through 2 punches. Sabidla used a back fist on the way in. We don't see any of the judges' flags in the air, nothing from the referees. Vic, we're 25 meters away. We saw a lot going on there.
That looks good to me, Joe. The Australian fighter now just closing the gap slightly. So therefore, she's going to stand a better chance if anything happens. There it comes. Because she's waiting to counter the Australian punch again. She down 50.
But you saw Sabidla at the same time throwing something with her front hand. Would that be less power? So the points given to Kim Marriott. What an upset. I would have predicted, would you, Vic Charles, that Sabidla would have been in our final match.
I don't know, Joe, because this Australian girl, she's good. She's moving well. She's bouncing around. She's cutting the space down. She actually knows what she's doing.
You have Said on the right of your screen, number 56 from Morocco, her opponent. Also from Morocco, Bustani. Bustani with her back to us now. You're saying, Vic Charles, it's sad that you'd have 2 team members having to face each other to eliminate each other here.
Well, what should have happened, Joe? They should have been put in different pools. So really, they should have only, if they're going to meet in the final, if they would have got through. This is slightly unfair on the country. The country could have had 2 medals here. Now they've got possibility of 1, and they've worked quite hard to get in that position.
Really unusual. 42 nations here, and of the 4 women finalists, 2 from Morocco.
Good punch.
Bustani is getting the nod from the center referee, but he's calling up the judges to see what they think about it. Now, so far this evening, if you're just joining us, so far this evening, we've had more discussion among the referees and judges than we've had over the last few days because it's getting right down to the wire. And a half point there is given to Bustani.
And also the situation, Joe, where you start getting the referees discussing there. A point just gone there.
So Malika Said beats Bustani to go into the gold medal round. The gold medal match coming up now. Kim Marriott. There you see, there's Kim Marriott on your screen from Australia, fighting Malika Said from Morocco. Now Malika, very, very tough coming in here. She beat Karen Lundeen from the United States, and then she beat Bustani from Morocco. Center referee Abe Kaigo. Vic Charles, what kind of strategy does Marriott need to beat this girl?
Well, I think she needs her. She's doing the right thing and moving around, but what the other girl's doing is just putting pressure on her, cutting the work distance down already. But
Kim Marriott stays awfully busy. She's got her looking at things, got her hands moving, got her feet moving. You haven't seen a lot of this kind of feinting, have we today, Vic?
No, not at all. And that type of fighting, actually, good block and punch there.
Had quick speed from Said.
The kick was very quick.
Abe Kaigo giving 1 point to Kim Marriott to lead it off. Now in this match, Vic, we had been told earlier that in the Grand Championship matches that it would perhaps be 4 Wazaris, 2 Ippons, 2 full points, and a 5-minute match. Is that still in effect?
The possibility, I thought that was only for the men, but you've got something wrong with it.
Problem, maybe she got hit on the side of the ear there, Said. Right now they each have a half point. Score is tied. She's shaking it off.
Kim Marriott is really just working it. She's keeping the girl, but now the other girl is over the top, but she went at the bottom.
You see a white flag, a red flag, a white flag. Abe Kaigo calling the judges up to confer. He's basically just called Terry O'Neill, the British judge, up to confer with him.
Torneo was saying, he definitely saw his point.
Robbie Kygo gives the Rosari and the win to Malika Said. Malika Said from Morocco captures the women's individual Kumite Championship over Kim Marriott from Australia.
That was a good fight, very good fight. Kim Marriott was going to go on top, trying to punch to the head, and Abigail just ducked underneath and just punched her in the stomach.
Malika Said takes the gold. Kim Marriott grabs the silver medal, while Savitla and Bustani both take home the bronze.
Gold medal to Malika Said from Morocco.
I was pretty close all the way. We both came in at the same time. It's just what referee says, what attack first is the one that wins, so I maybe was a bit unlucky.
The blue ribbon event here in Dubai, the men's Kumite. It's semi-final time. Look now at the two matches we've got for you. On the left of our screen, wearing the red sash, will be P. Tamang from Nepal. On the right of your screen, you've got Masao Kagawa of Japan, the reigning world champion. Now, Vic Charles, up until the last few matches today, people just kind of let him have his way.
Well, this is the semi-finals now. Well, I don't think this guy's going to give him. He's going to stay in there.
4 fighters left. 4
Sakagawa
fighters left. This will be the semi-final match.
Sakagawa looked very relaxed there, as if he's won this title already. But see how the top.
You saw
that should be a hit on. He's moved forward. He swept his front leg. He spun the opponent around and punched him at the back.
So an ippon, Vic Charles, you're saying normally comes when a man has his back to you, but they've given him a half point. Now this Nepal fighter seems to be a little bit intimidated, Vic Charles.
Oh, he's got front hand snap punch to the face as he rushed in.
That's what we saw in the first day in your explanation as a Junsuki. So Masao Kagawa has a relatively easy time with P. Tamang of Nepal. And we should mention that there are no weight divisions here. On the left of your screen there, you see Mr. Nobuyuki Aramoto from Japan. His opponent is Youngjung Ko from Korea. That is a very interesting matchup. Korea, very well known for its Taekwondo style.
Oh!
Now having to fight in Shotokan karate. Now what about the quick punch in from Aramoto, Vic?
What he did, he pulled the punch. He pulled the Korea's punch. Korea went to punch, he blocked it, and then he strikes him to the face with his backhand.
Half point up for Aramoto. I had a friend, Ed Truman, who went to Japan and opened an American karate studio, and it's almost like that, finding a Korean studying Shotokan in Korea. Very unusual.
I think he's Japanese fighter. He's moving very well here. I mean, he's going in and out, pretending to go forward. See, pretending, and then he stops. Brilliant point again.
Front hand move then by Ko with a great timed counter
Is what we call
by Aramoto, who takes the match, Vic Charles.
Yes, it's what we call in the trade, where, when I said before, pulling, is when a little fighter pretends to come forward, makes the other attack, makes the other fighter punch, then he blocks that punch, and then he comes forward again.
So we have 2 Japanese fighting for first and second place, Kogawa and Aramoto, for the World Championship in men's Kumite. Now entering the mat, Masao Kagawa from Japan, the defending world champion. His opponent, also from Japan, Nobuyuki Aramoto, fighting for the gold medal of the Japan Karate Association World Championship, the Championship of Peace and Friendship. Aramoto. There you go, Kagawa that you're looking at there. Started to sweep Aramoto, or sweep legal here.
Yes, we call them Ashibara or front leg sweep, which has got a point there.
Point, half point for Kagawa.
Oh, wonderful punch to the face.
That was an example where Kagawa thought the point had been scored. He turned around and left himself defenseless for a moment. Vic?
Yeah, definitely, but
the judges went with him. They've now given him, he's got 1 full ippon, is that correct? I didn't understand when his hand went down and then back up.
he's got 1 full ippon.
Okay, so you add the 2 together, the score is now 1-0. So it's 1.5 now to 0. And Kagawa just having his way with Aramoto. Now, question for you, Big Charles. From what you're seeing here, is Aramoto letting him have it, or is he putting up the best fight that he possibly could?
He's not putting the best fight at all. And the thing is that he must train with the guy all the time. He knows what his faults are. So he's just throwing weak techniques there.
Another point then. That would be 4 Wazari to...
And that's finished.
Kagawa wins. Kagawa repeats as the world champion for the Japan Karate Association in individual kumite. Number 2, Nobuyuki Aramoto for the silver medal.
And also it's interesting to see that this young man is won the individuals, and he's also got filled in the team, and also in the kata gold.
Kagawa seems controlledly happy.
The world champion, Masao Kagawa, gold medal.
I'm here with Masao Kagawa, who repeats as the world champion for the Japan Karate Association 2 years in a row. How does it feel to win kata and kumite on the same night?
また2回目世界チャンピオンになって肩組みてどう思いますか？どんな気持ちますか？大変嬉しいです。Very happy about it. He's very happy.
Your teammates had a misfortune tonight with Syria. Will you guys come back and repeat as world champions next time?
今日シリアと残念だけど今度また出ますか？この大会に。私の後輩がねみんな頑張ってやってますので、今度、シリアとやるときは、力をつけて頑張ってくれると思います。Well, my juniors will carry on doing this kind of championship, and next time I think they will have more power and more technique to win.
Will we see Mr. Kagawa as coach next time?
この次の大会は香川先生はコーチになりますか？